Did I do one? Check.
Well, good morning, and thanks so much for coming out on this beautiful, kind of drizzly day. We're going to please stand and join us. We've got the Unity Band here today, so start with Spirit Song.
Woke up this morning with my mind set on Spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind set on Spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind set on Spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Walking and talking with my mind set on Spirit. Walking and talking with my mind set on Spirit. Walking and talking with my mind set on Spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Woke up this morning with my mind set on Spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind set on Spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind set on Spirit. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
That was good, wasn't it? Thank you so much. Thank you. Hear the drums too. That's beautiful. Thank you. Welcome to sort of the first day of our holiday season, the first day of Advent, anyway, which is always a wonderful focus for us as we end our year together. I'm Mark, happy to be here with you and happy to be of service to you. Did forget my glasses, so I'm not seeing you very well, but I trust you're here. Keep audible throughout. So let's begin with prayer. I invite you to close your eyes, take a deep breath. And we bring our attention to the Word God, which is where we begin, because the Word God activates the energy of love, joy, unconditional acceptance, peace. We can put lots of attributes to the Word, but what it really means is an inner light, a presence that is within all, as all, and as we bring our attention to it, we consciously activate it as the foundation this morning upon which we meet. The energy that blesses our music, the energy that blesses the sacred hearts and hands that have helped to create this gathering. It is the energy that streams through the computer systems, bringing this message to those who are joining us virtually. So we create this wonderful web of love, and it is a healing power, it is a revealing power, it is a sustaining power. And from my place of oneness with it, I affirm that we are blessed. And I ask that our gathering this morning be a blessing unto the world. I'm grateful for this, and so it is. Amen. And Julie is our host today.
Good morning, all you smiling faces. I'm Julie Myers, and I'm going to be your host today. And welcome to all of our live streamers out there. And thanks to Brian and Anna and Jeff for that great music. Those drums do really add a lot, don't they? I love that. Okay, so Unity on the Lakeshore is a non-denominational spiritual community anchored in loving acceptance. If you're here with us for the first time, just know that whoever you are, wherever you are on life's journey, you are most welcome here. I've asked Sandy to light our Christ candle for us, so she's going to come up at this time if she comes back upstairs. I'm sorry, the Advent. Today is the first Sunday of Advent, and Mark's going to step in and light the Advent candle.
I can't do as well as Sandy.
So let us prepare our hearts for the rebirth of the Christ light within, which represents hope. With its light, we are reminded of the hope that this holiday season brings into the world. Thanks, Mark. Please join me in speaking our mission statement. You'll see it on the slide above. We embrace all people and honor all paths to God. We create a sacred space to raise the awareness and consciousness of the one Spirit in us all. We anchor ourselves in affirmative prayer, forgiveness, generous sharing, and loving community in service to our spiritual awakening. And now our affirmation of faith. There is only one presence and one power, as me and as the universe, God, the good, omnipotent. And please join us in our congregational song.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. See you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. See you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you.
Today's reading is from the Daily Word. My hope leads me to deepen in my faith. As Advent season begins, I feel a quickening, a renewed deep within me as I embark upon the spiritual journey leading to Christmas. Over the year, I may have hoped for lasting peace, greater love, or abiding joy. But as I have grown spiritually, I have learned to look for those things within, to claim them as aspects of my divine identity. Once I do that, I will begin to see them manifest in my life. Faith is how I begin to bring my hopes to life. Like my other divine gifts, I always have faith. It's up to me to decide how to use it. When I choose to believe that peace will blanket the earth, love will heal our hearts, and joy will bring harmony to the world's people, I am using the power of my faith to bring those visions to vivid life. And from John 1:5, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. And now Mark will lead us in meditation.
And let us say this together. There is a silence into which the world cannot intrude. There is an ancient peace I carry in my heart and have not lost. There is a sense of holiness in me the thought of fear has never touched. I go there now. All right, please join us in closing your eyes and taking that nice, deep, nourishing breath. I want you to do something real gently and easily with no effort. When you breathe in, roll your eyes upward with them closed, gently. And as you exhale, roll them downward, as if you're looking up into your brow, breathing in, looking down through your nose, breathing out. No efforting though, just an easy lift and a lower. And let's do that together for a few repetitions.
There's nothing worth more that will ever come close. Nothing can compare. You're our living host. Your presence, Lord. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome by your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord.
Just allow your eyes to relax and use that breath to go into the next level down of surrender. Feeling the body really relax. Imagining the spine growing taller, creating more space for more breath. And imagine below your rib cage a ball of golden light. This is the Christ light. This is the light that will always burn, will always shine. It cannot be extinguished. It cannot be harmed or tarnished. But what it can do with your attention upon it is to grow. And it can heal. And it can guide you home. Home simply meaning that place of peace and love that you are. So breathe into this light as we begin this season of light. This is what our holiday is about. It's about the spiritual aspect of being that is rebirthed. It is an opportunity to go deeper than ever before. So within yourself, say yes to this light. Ask it to heal and release you from the lie of lack, from any kind of limitation. Ask it to confirm its presence, its healing, its care, and its never-ending, unwavering connection. Commune in this light for a few more moments. Bask in it and allow it.
I've tasted and seen sweetest of loves, where my heart becomes free and my shame is undone. Your presence, Holy Spirit, you are welcome. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome by your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord.
This presence is what we say yes to. This presence is what connects us. This presence is the gift that we give. Take another deep breath, beginning to bring yourself back into the room, centered in this presence, basking in it, allowing it. Take your time, opening your eyes as we enjoy more music.
We light a candle and we remember there is hope in this world. There is hope. We sing our heart song and we remember there is peace in this world. There is peace. The days are getting colder. The nights are growing long. But there is warmth and wonder, a candle and a song. And so we shine, and so we sing, till doubt and sorrow cease. A light of hope, a song of peace. A single candle will light another, spreading hope through this world, spreading hope. We'll share our heart song with one another, singing peace to this world, singing peace. The days are getting colder, the nights are growing long, but there is warmth and wonder, a candle and a song. And so we shine, and so we sing, till doubt and sorrow cease. A light of hope, a song of peace. And so we shine, and so we sing, till doubt and sorrow cease. A light of hope, a song of peace. A song of peace.
Thank you both. I'll borrow this one. I really enjoy this season. I admittedly do the same series every single year, and I probably will as long as I'm speaking and teaching, because I love the opportunity to take this time to explore the different holidays, to look at the metaphysical meaning of them. So this week, being that I believe Hanukkah is the 7th of December, 7th or 8th of this month, a little earlier, we'll begin with Hanukkah. And then next week, we'll dive into the metaphysical and mystical meaning of the winter solstice. And then we will be completing the year as we move closer to Christmas, of course, with the Christmas story itself. Now, it's an interesting conversation today to have about Hanukkah and the story of it being what is happening in the world. So let us keep our attention lifted very, very high in this, because if we embrace the story as our story, not as the effect in the world, we will have a transformation within which will bless the world. Does that make sense? So you'll have a positive impact, I promise you, for that. But we do it inside here. That's what one of the greatest gifts of unity is, metaphysical interpretation of the stories. And so this one takes place around 200 BC in Judea, the land of Israel. It came under the control of Antioch III, who was the king of Syria, who allowed the Jews who lived there to continue practicing their religion. His son Antiochus IV, however, was the opposite. He outlawed the Jewish religion and ordered the Jews to worship Greek gods. In 168 BC, his soldiers descended upon Jerusalem, massacring thousands of people and desecrating the city's holy second temple by erecting an altar to Zeus and sacrificing pigs within its sacred walls. Now already we're like, oh, this is happening today. Isn't that quite fascinating? I mean, that's sort of something for us to pay attention to for sure. Led by the Jewish priest, Mattathias refused to eat the pig, and he and his 5 sons caused a large-scale rebellion. When Mattathias died, his son, Judah, known as Judah, took the helm. Within 2 years, the Jews had successfully driven the Syrians out of Jerusalem. Judah called on his followers to cleanse the second temple, rebuild its altar, and light its menorah. The golden candelabra, whose 7 branches represent knowledge and creation and were meant to be kept burning every night. So, again, let us apply the metaphysical understanding and teaching on this story, and then we will bring it as a blessing to the world in our prayers. So the Jews who took part in the rededication of the Second Temple witnessed what they believed to be a miracle, which was when they got into the temple to purify it and to cleanse it, they had only enough oil to light the menorah candle for one night at most. And so the miracle is that somehow that one single light lasted, and it extended itself for 8 days until there was, and giving them the time to find more oil and to cleanse and purify the temple. Metaphysical interpretation of this story: every character in the story represents an aspect of you. Every character, every gathering of the people represent thought patterns, belief patterns, and this is how we apply them here. So the story of Hanukkah, mostly and most importantly, is a story of faith. It's the story where someone's looking at so little, just enough for the next step, and yet something within them says, well, let's just take the next step. It's that something that look within all of us that looks to the world and says, there's not enough here. This isn't possible. In the human condition, seeing what I have, this is not possible. And yet that's when the Spirit comes alive. Those are the most profound times in our lives when we must turn to Spirit, when all we have to do is to take the next step and activate faith in hoping and trusting, very often against all hope maybe that we feel inside of us, that the next thing will be revealed from there. So the Greek soldiers in this story, they represent the consciousness of control. They represent the consciousness of force. We were all conditioned in this consciousness. If you were raised in any kind of a traditional religion, at least I'll speak from my experience. My experience of the traditional religion was to control, to manage and to divide and to say this is good, that is bad, be this, don't be that. It became an internal struggle of I'm not okay. And so the belief that says I'm not okay, there's something inherently wrong with me, requires control, doesn't it? Because you have a part of you that will belong, that must belong, that must find its way to fit in because it's our nature. And so when we feel threatened at our nature, it is natural for us to begin to move into control. To control and manage and make things fit the rules. This very thing is actually what scrubs out our spirit. This is the thing that makes it about the rules, the letter of the law versus the spirit of the law. And this is what the Greeks represent. And this is what they represent in our minds, in our experience. We have to keep looking within ourselves. Where am I still feeling like I need to control life? Where do I bump up against fear in letting go and trusting? Now, it doesn't mean you don't practice good stewardship. It doesn't mean you don't use wisdom, but that's very different. That's very different because wisdom and good stewardship come from a flow. They come from the energy of love. Control comes from I'm afraid. Something bad is here and I've got to manage this. This pervasive control within ourselves, within our relationships, and within our culture is epidemic. It's an and now it's like we're sitting in, including the story, and in our country, in many countries, the divide, who will win control, not who will win the opportunity to have mastery over this energy and use it well for all. That's a very different goal, is it not? This has now become who gets the power to control the other. Now, we can look at our world and go, oh, that's horrible. We can look at this story thousands and thousands of years ago, oh, that's horrible. But we're not going to get very far until we look in our mind and go, I think I'm doing that to myself. What am I afraid of? And so I control. What words am I not speaking? What energy am I not letting flow? Where's there a, if I may, like a wildness of the second chakra, passion of your being that is just remains under this, it boxed in and under this cap? What would be possible if you allowed yourself to release control? You would experience fear, but that fear would also bring you to an opportunity to experience faith. So this is what the Greeks represent in the story, the consciousness of control. Now, when it's one person, it kind of represents a thought pattern. When it's a group of people like the Greeks, it's a thought system, a belief system, which means this is big. This is a big idea that we're being controlled underneath this. So the next piece that they were asked to do under this control was to worship Zeus. Zeus was not their god, but they were forced to do this. Worshiping Zeus means metaphysically worshiping the god of sacrifice. Now again, we're going deep into like subconscious patterns and belief systems, cultural, controlling. This idea of God requires sacrifice. God requires you to, and sacrifice inherent in that word in this usage is suffer. And that's what's important, because I need to divide that word. To sacrifice, to make sacred, is a paradox because there's no sacrifice meaning. When love calls you, when love says it's time to take care of someone, when love says it's time to put down that and give your time and attention somewhere that you hadn't planned, that isn't sacrifice. That's love using you. And that is making sacred your energy and to service to another. That's what you who are parents, that's what you do. You sacrifice, you make sacred your energy. This is the one, again, that's the positive. We're looking at the sacrifice from fear, the sacrifice that causes you to contract and control and makes you feel like, it makes you believe in a punishing God. This is the God of sacrifice. This is an idol. It's an idol because it's not real. It's something we've placed outside of us before us, thinking that it requires something from us. This is a false identification of spirit. And this is the one that we here at Unity continue to do our work, to take off another layer, take the layers of the onion, is it not? More and more. Why? Because it's deep. I'm always a little worried about someone who goes, oh, I don't believe in that God anymore. Well, I appreciate that on one level, but I'm like, I don't believe in that God anymore, but I want to be humble to the ways that the seeds of that belief system that is pervasive in culture and in my family, how it still might be operating in the background, right? And we look within for that. Where am I requiring a sacrifice from myself? Where am I sacrificing myself because I'm afraid that people won't like me, that I won't be accepted? Where am I sacrificing my truth because I fear that if I speak it, something bad will happen, I'll be punished? Where am I sacrificing my creative expression because I'm afraid that there's so much lack in my world that I shouldn't be using my energy there? There's 1,000 ways that if we really look within, we'll say, where am I still believing in an idol deity that requires me to be not me? The not self is what we're taught to be in order to appease an idol. Do you see the BS of that? This is what we want to deconstruct. This is the opportunity that this story represents, because the Jews in this story, and sorry, if you're Greek, it's not me, it's just in the story. So I'm not taking responsibility for that. But the Jews throughout the whole Old Testament, it's not the Jewish people of our time, although it feels that way in the story, obviously, but inside of us, the Jews represent the part in us that is always seeking the highest God, the part in us that is devotional to the truth, the part in us that really is on the awakening path. And so what happens in the story represents the things we bump into in our own lives, the challenges that we face, the times where we feel imprisoned, the times when we feel like someone's asking us to eat the pig. To eat the pig, according to the story of the Jews, was one of the worst offenses. It was. I don't have another analogy in my head, but it was really asking a people to do something so against their own being that people would rather die than do that. Well, actually, there are examples of that in our world today, especially in any fringe. I can't think of the word in this moment, but like gay people, women, what are those called? Minorities. Such a big word. The minorities, we can look to them to see how we are, our culture, not us here, it was a very beautiful, inclusive community here, but we look to the culture to say, wow, be like us or you're wrong. Do this, and we've had, especially for LGBT people throughout time and even to today, don't be you, pretend. Do something so against your natural vibration because that's how we tell you you should be. Again, not a loving world. What's more important is, how are you still doing it to yourself? What is that part of you? This is like, I hate the idea of pig because I actually really like bacon, but for the purpose of the story, where are you still forcing yourself to do something that's inauthentic? This is only inside of us. There's not an external, there's not someone making us do something, I don't think, in our lives here. But there still is the voices inside of us. And that, because we live a life that allows us to actually look at the inner voices and address them, how blessed. Because there are people in humanity today that don't have that option. They are literally still under the physical control of others, and we send them all our love. And it makes it even more important, I think, for you to free the mind, to look within, because when you do, you give that gift, that freedom will extend, and others will find it when you lead the way. And that's what you're a leader. You're here. You're called, and you answered. So just take a moment, close your eyes. Where in my life am I still forcing myself to do something, to think something, to believe something that is against my nature? Where am I agreeing to do something distasteful to my consciousness? Where am I still agreeing to a pattern, a belief about myself? This is what we ask. See if anything rises up in you. Take a breath. We will not find the God of your being by, you can open your eyes. We will not find the God of our being through sacrifice. We will not find the God of our being through making ourselves do something that's against our nature. In fact, what we will do is create more and more of a disconnected experience. And then we go, I don't believe in this. This isn't real. This is all made up. And from that, where people are, I can totally appreciate that. I'm like, I get it. I get it. But the only thing in the way is these ideas, these beliefs. Live inauthentically and try to find an authentic connection to God. Did you get that? It's just an impossible equation. That's all. That's all. So Mattathias, he is the high priest who refused to eat this. And he represents that part in us that will not conform. Now, the world calls that stubborn. The world calls that the black sheep. The world calls that the troublemaker. A positive way might be, ooh, they're precocious. You see it in kids. You see that no coming up from them. And we all, conform. Sorry, young parents, it's, walk gracefully through this one. But these little babies, if I may, right? I mean, you've got to, there is a no, there is a yes, they need to learn. And that's a wonderful thing. But inherent in those children is a, wah! Don't tell me what to do. That's inherent in all of us. And the culture says, break that. And that's the negative part. I don't mean we all need, no one wants the kid to put their hand in a fire. Makes sense. But that's, again, different from breaking ourself to conform to something. And Mattathias represents the part of your spirit that never will. Mattathias is the part of you that has the courage. And even if it's an inner experience, I bring up periodically Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl, who wrote... Yes! I don't know the name of it, but he was in a concentration camp, and he became free, and he's a therapist. And Man's Search for Meaning. Yeah, I win. Not that it's a competition. Viktor Frankl. So this is why he's a genius for all of us. He's kind of a Mattathias, if you will, because he was stripped all physical freedom. He had no control of his body, no control of how it was to be used. He had no control of anything, and yet he never lost himself because he had that Mattathias consciousness within him that said, you may take everything, but I will not conform. I will not conform to what is not true for me. Whew. Isn't that amazing? We are in such comfort conformity that we don't even think to look. That's part of our challenge. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you're sitting in a prison cell, you got some time to think about what you're not conforming to. We have a more subtle, because it's all pervasive and it's all in this different space. And this is such an example. I'm so bad at this because I'm standing in it right here. To me, if I may, this whole outfit is conformity, right? It just is, and I walk through our stores and I'm like, ladies, you got it way better than the guys on this one. I envy you a bit. Walk into men's stores, beige, blue, gray, plaid, it's just, it's nauseating to me to see the conformity of the masculine energy and what it must look like to accept in. And we're all sitting in it, no judgment here. I'm standing in it. Although my shoes are very stylish. But otherwise, and again, a lot of it is fine. A lot of it is harmless. But how do we find a place to really look and say, but is it me? And if it were me, what would it look like? What might be a little different? What might add a little pizzazz, a little color, a little expression? This is what we're seeking. And it sounds crazy to think of clothes, but yet isn't that the first presentation of who we believe we are? Isn't it the presentation of, fit in, blend, fit, belong? And which one of us has the courage to walk down Butler Street today? I'll give you $10 if you do it. That's a lot of money. And And like, what's her name from Three's Company, the Moo Moo? Mrs. Roper. Y'all remember Three's Company? And Mrs. Roper, what did she wear? Those colorful moo-moos that were obnoxious, kind of. But didn't it represent something cool and freeing and beautiful? Put on a moo-moo and walk through Saugatuck and see how you feel. Notice the nervousness of being, the fear of the attention. This is why that's the only reason it's an interesting exercise, y'all. Don't tell anyone I told you to do it if you do it. But what is your version of a stretch? Where is it where you go, if I were to put this on, if I were to say this, if I were to be this, I would feel vulnerable. That's what I'm wanting us to find. And it's not easy, but it's where life is. It's where we begin to restore our temple that has been defiled and taken over by armies of fear. This is the story of our lives here. The oil metaphysically represents the thought of love, which is poured over anything, making it holy or making it a perfect whole. The oil is the energy of love. It's the healing power. And when we steer our love in the attention of anything that appears to be broken, appears to be defiled, is ready to be purified, love transforms. Love brings the miracle of the light. And this is what we know, but this is what we all have to consciously practice, because when you bump into something you don't like within yourself or within a relationship or an upset, do you often go, let me pause and bring the love here? Sometimes, but sometimes we just react. Sometimes we get whooped up into the story and talk about it and share about it. And then we got to remember later when we're going to lay our head down and we're feeling like, oh, I'm not feeling great today. Today wasn't a great day. That's when we do our review. Where did I not let love pour itself over something so that it can be renewed, so that it can be transformed? The temple was purified, not by the physical things, but by the faith. By the faith that placed its attention upon the purifying, healing light of love that allowed the healing light of love to restore. What is the temple? The mind, the heart connection. It is the combination of the two within you. This is your sacred temple. And it's fair to say, when we go unconscious, it can become a little defiled. It becomes defiled by our limiting thoughts. It becomes defiled by our stories that we hold against ourselves. That'll never happen for me. Oh, that I can't do that anymore. Those are just little examples. The shaming, the guilting, these are the things we want purified. And what purifies it? The lighting of one candle, one divine idea, one true thought about yourself. I am a worthy expression of God. Boom, light that candle. And see what that does. Extend that idea. Close your eyes. Ask yourself, your spirit, what is my one candle? What is the one truth? I am love. I am holy. I am safe. I am creative. I am worthy. I am abundant. You know the I am statements. I am the glory of God itself. Light that candle. I am wild and wonderful. Light that candle. I am holy. I am whole within myself. Pick one. Pick one for you consciously right now. And inside yourself, imagine lighting that candle. I am, boom. Light that candle. Open your eyes. That's an act of faith. That's what the story's about. Walk with that this week. See what other candles get lit from that one. I want you to come back next Sunday going, I am the menorah. I am that light. I am that power. That's a beautiful idea about this story, isn't it? Aren't we so blessed here at Unity that this is the gift we get? I'm so grateful for Charles Fillmore and his genius in doing this. So let us, especially now, let us go for a moment to the world where, for some reason, it is yet again repeating this story. The very same recycled story. And our job is to not go, here we are again. Our job is to go, let me do this work so that that doesn't have to be repeated again. You are that powerful. You have that much in you, yes? Let's take a breath. Do a quick prayer. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you for lighting that one candle within each one of us that reminds us of who we are. We place our faith inside of that. And we ask that this one light that we are affirming in this moment, that it shine throughout the week, that it grows stronger, and that it begins to light the other candles of truth. I am love. Yes. I am peace. Yes. I am powerful. Yes. I am. And extend until the entire mind is purified. The subconscious mind is set free from the control and the belief in sacrifice and suffering. The subconscious mind, your temple, that has been defiled by fear. We look at that temple and we say, you are done. Fear, you are done. It is purification week. And I'm not forcing it. I'm letting the candle of love pour itself, pour its way, healing, restoring, rectifying, purifying. Yes. Say yes. Yes. Grateful for this, grateful we are guided, grateful for this beautiful teaching this day. As we begin our Advent season, our season of light with this. And so it is. Amen. All right. So now is your opportunity to make your contribution. Live streamers, thank you for being here. Before you go, thank you for your gift to unity on the Lakeshore. Together we say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am thankful. And we are. We're very thankful for your contributions. Thank you so much. Julie, we welcome you back up.
There are a few ways for you to give. The ushers are passing a basket now. We also have the option to give through text. Just send the word give to 616-236-5205. That's 616-236-5205. And if it's your first time giving this way, you'll receive a link with the instructions. If you've given before through text, then you can simply text a dollar amount. You can also give through our website at unityonthelakeshore.org/donations. For those watching online, the link is in the chat. You can also mail a check to Unity on the Lakeshore, P.O. Box 848, Douglas, Michigan, 49406. And now another song.
When I look into your eyes, it's like watching the night sky or a beautiful sunrise. There's so much they hold.
Just like them old stars, I see that you've come so far to be right where you are. How old is your soul?
I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all of my love. Still looking up, and And when you're needing your space to do some navigating, I'll be here patiently waiting to see what you found.
'Cause even the stars, they burn. Some even fall to the earth. We've got a lot to learn. God knows we're worth it. No, I won't give up. I don't want to be the one who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make the difference that I can make. Our differences, they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we got. Yeah, we got a lot at stake. And in the end, you're still my friend. At least we did intend for us to work. We didn't break, we didn't burn. We had to learn how to bend without the world caving in. I had to learn what I got, what I'm not, and who I am. I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up, still looking up. I won't give up on us. God knows we're tough enough. We've got a lot to learn. God knows we're worth it.
I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all of my love. I'm still looking up.
Thank you. If you're in need of support, there are a few ways to receive that. First is to email us at unitylakeshore@gmail.com. You can also phone the office at 269-857-8226. And there's always the Unity Silent Prayer Line, which is 24/7 at 816-969-2000. This holiday season, we have two charities that we are supporting. One is the Children's Advocacy Center, which offers abuse prevention and intervention. The other is a family where the husband was killed in a tragic work accident. He was 28 years old, married with 4 boys and a daughter to be born soon. We received gift ideas for each of the family members. We're happy to announce all those items have been purchased and the previous charity has been supported as well. Someone is very happy about that.
Yeah.
We will continue to hold all those that will receive gifts in our love and prayers. If you haven't liked our Facebook page, please do so. This way you can share about all the great things that are happening here at Unity. You can find us at facebook.com/Unity Lakeshore. And are there any guests here for the first time? Looks like everybody's been here, so welcome back. Any other announcements from the community? If you have any suggestions or anything, there's a box right over there. Please feel free to drop a suggestion or question in there, and we'll do our best to try to answer that. I just wanted to take a moment to just say, I've traveled a lot in my 63 years on this earth. And I have never met a more loving and generous community of people than the ones sitting here in this room. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You truly are, you guys walk the talk, I'll tell you. And I'm very, very grateful to be a part of it. So thank you. And so now is our time for our closing song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. Stand if you want.
Aren't we doing a little financial report? No? Yes. Yeah.
Yes. And now
Have
we're
another
doing.
seat.
Have a quick seat.
Just 2 or 3 minutes.
It wasn't in my notes. So anyway, yes, we're doing just a real quick financial update. And we're going to invite Jack up to go over that with us. So hold tight. We'll sing in a minute.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay? Okay. I'm Jack Wells, and Millie and I are co-treasurers on the board, and we wanted to just give you a quick, brief financial update here. In the interest of time, if you have any questions, we thought it's best just see excuse me, Millie or I after the service. And if you're online, you have any questions, just submit or just email to the church at unitylakeshore@gmail.com. So overall, when you look at our annual revenues for the last 2 years, they've been pretty similar, close to $100,000. And if you look at the composition of the revenues, it overwhelmingly is love offerings, which are your individual contributions. And so you can see that the love offerings are really, I mean, it's in excess of 90% of the revenues. So they're very vital to the church's operations and financial health. So we wanted to make you aware that the church has, the last couple of years, has been running some significant deficits. And our fiscal year end is July. And so for the last fiscal year end, we ran about a $14,000 deficit. In the prior year, we ran about a $22,000 deficit. And currently, if you look at the most recent quarter, the quarter ended October, for those 3 months, we incurred a deficit of about $6,000. So we're running pretty close to about $2,000 deficit per month. And I guess as you would expect from the losses, our cash reserves have declined. If you look at the past 18 months, and you go back to May of 22, our reserves were about $67,000. And now they're about $35,000. So it's not uncommon, you know, for churches to occasionally run deficits, but it's something that we definitely need to pay close attention to, as it's not a sustainable trend over the long term. So I guess let me say on the positive side of our financials, we fully own this beautiful building and the property. We have no mortgage or any debt. And we also, since we're a not-for-profit 501c3 organization, we don't have to pay property taxes. So that really helps make the financial challenge for us a lot more manageable and fixable. So we wanted to be transparent with you and make sure that you're aware of the issue, and want you to know that the board is very much focused on this, and it's one of our highest priorities this year to move us towards a balanced budget. And so we'll be back with you soon with ideas and thoughts with possible solutions. So thank you.
Thank you, Jack. And if you have further questions or things you want to share or ideas, Millie and Jack actually are co-treasurers on your board. So feel free to connect with them afterwards and get more clarity if that's what you're looking for. Some of you like the details of this story. I tend to just like a big picture graph with colors, and then I need people like, the details to work it out. But so two things. One, it's an invitation. If there is something more in your oil can that you can give to Unity this year, thank you. We humbly ask. But more importantly, this is an invitation for all of us to have the state of mind of where God is, there is a solution. Where God is, there is abundance. This is the greatest breakthrough. So none of us are here to feel guilty or wrong, but we are all here to be called to a consciousness of what's possible if we just stood in the yes. There's sufficiency here. There's more than enough here. This is the invitation. And I know that consciousness, it'll work miracles, of course, right?
Yes.
So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Jack and Millie, for your really good work and service to them and the entire board. We're very blessed. Now, let us bring some peace to the earth, you may say.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Together we say, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you, everybody. Peace and love.